management of the EMEFS Estate are denying claims that a Ghana Ports and Harbours manager killed there was followed from town by her killer. Although the gates of the estates are manned, they consider that nobody followed her through those gates to her bedroom. Now, a statement released by the company touted what they described as watchful and resilient security personnel, which makes it impossible for intruders to get access. Managing director of the company, Sichope Akebu, says that the houseboy of the deceased has become the prime suspect in the case following some inconsistencies in his statement to the police. We'll be hearing from him shortly. But first, Maxwell Agbagba joins me. We will be bringing you Maxwell Agbagba shortly. But first, let's go and take the report from the management of the estate.
So all points are now, all the things are now pointing to the houseboy, because the stories are not making up. Because we don't know how the person entered. So there's no way with EMEFS Estate that you have access to come in and let you get clearance. And around that time, which was around 12:30, it was a lady alone who came in, like, from a program, and she went straight into her house. So all emphasis are on the houseboy who was arrested, because his stories are contradicted. According to the police as well, they found him trying to bury some stuff when the police got there, like the lady's watch and some amount of money as well. In touch with the police people, they are still carrying out investigations, and they are yet to give feedback as to exactly what happened. But the houseboy has still been detained since and is being questioned.
Okay, so there are revelations that the houseboy actually buried the watch of the deceased and then an amount of 300 cedis. So there was no possibility that the person even scaled, your walls to get access to
no way, because
your compound.
The neighbor behind, essentially has their house has an electric barbed wire fencing around the house. The neighbor on the left has the same, the right has the same. And even the neighbor on the right was even up. He slept around 3 a.m., so he will have heard anything going on. The one on the left as well, they're always in there. They even have huge dogs in the house as well. The dog will have barked. It's internal. It's the houseboy who knew what was going on. He obviously knew what he did. So his stories are just not making up now. So the police are holding him, doing unnecessary investigations to find out.
Right. The houseboy in question is yet to be charged with anything, but he is in police custody. So we'll keep bringing you updates on that matter. But it has made us start to think about personal safety. While you're out and about, while you're at home, what are some of the very simple and basic things you can do to ensure that you're a bit more vigilant and less susceptible to attacks, either from persons known or unknown? We're going to speak to Richard Kumado. He's a fraud and security management consultant. He's right here with me in the studio to discuss personal safety and security. Mr. Kumado, how nice to see you.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Now, nobody ever wants to even have to think about this sort of thing. It's just not a nice thought to imagine yourself being attacked or injured or robbed or, put to any sort of harm. But it's a reality. This story reminds us of that. So I guess I'll let you start from the beginning. What are some of the common things that you and I can do as we go about our business to make sure that we're a bit more vigilant than we usually are?
It's basic. Normally what happens is that we've been training on this personal security for the past 20 years. As people, we are not observant. We could see people all this while, maybe at a car park, at a shopping mall, around your house area, and nobody bothers to go close to them and say, "Sir, I have seen you at these two places. Why are you following me?" So one of the basic things we should do, we should be a little bit more observant. We should know what we are looking for. The other thing is to control our space. If the guys are claiming that it's an in-house job, then our mom, who is dead, may her soul rest in peace, have no control her space. Then the next question you should ask is, why are they also not using surveillance? Surveillance cameras could have pinpointed the fact that nobody actually broke through as an intruder, but it's an in-house job. Then the other one, we should control our space and secure our environment. Your environment could be everywhere you are. It could be in a plane, it could be at a mall. You remember a few days ago or a few months ago, there was a rumor that Accra Mall was going to be tagged. People go to Accra Mall, they never know where the entrances are. In case of emergency, where are you running to? Personal security, where we are going to as Ghanaians, is something we need to take seriously. And once we cannot ask the right questions to be able to say, we have seen you here, we have seen you here, and we live anyhow. We have become vulnerable for all manner of people to attack you.
You've mentioned the importance of securing your environment and controlling your space. So you're in Accra Mall. You don't manage the facility. You're there to shop. How do you secure your space in such a public place and make sure that you are safe?
Yeah, so number one, what you do is that you know where you park your car in case of trouble, and everybody is running, you know where you go. You should also be aware that Accra Mall has an assembly point in case of what happened in Kenya, where people should run to safety. You should know where there are other entrances. Now, Accra Mall used to have 2 entrances. They've added a 3rd one. Once you get to Accra Mall, take a little bit of time to familiarize yourself with the place and speak to the security guys on duty. Where are the washrooms? What happened at these places? We never do it. All we do is to go to Game and ShopRite and move around the place. Nobody cares. And once there's a trouble, you will find yourself wanted. If you be running towards to where the criminals or the terrorists are coming from. And it's something as Ghanaians we need to be taken seriously.
Right. Now, I mean, let's also look at the reality of the situation. You're going to Accra Mall, you're in a hurry, you're just going to pick up a phone charger or whatever and leave. Do you have the time, or do you even, should it even be part of your process? In going to buy?
Security has become a little bit of an issue, so we should take our time a little bit. If you live in places like Kenya and you keep on hearing some of these things, I have been to Uganda, and even in your hotel, if you go out and count 10 times, you have to be screened. And security doesn't make life a little bit comfort, but it's something we have to address and adjust ourselves to. If you keep on saying, no, I'm just picking something at the grocery, let me just pick it and go, you never check your back to see who is following you right from where you pick your car from. Somebody might not be following you, and we say to people that reverse or change your route a little bit. Don't be using the same kind of route, and especially when people live their life on social media and everything about them is social media, so people could know where you will be, where you have been, and once they form a pattern about you, you could be at the other side.
Tell us a bit more about how we put ourselves at risk on social media.
There's the need. These days, people have lived all their lives on social media. There's the need to have what we call social media hygienic attitude, that you don't put everything about you. Your personal data is on data. I'm Richard Kumado. I'll be at Joy FM at 3:30. From Joy FM, I'm going to Papa Pizza. I'll be at Tosu. You've just given your itinerary to everybody free at the cost, and once you have people following you, they will be there to pick you out. And I have been a private investigator for all these years, and some of the cases, you see, in the case of our mom, the crime scene is so essential. And I'm yet to speak to my guys in the Ghana Police Service to see whether the crime scene guys were there. Once they mess up the crime scene, it's going to be like any of the cases you have spoken to the politicians about. And
we're told that they picked up some fingerprints and a footprint also, which is aiding them in their investigation. So we'll see what comes of that. But let's assume that the worst happens and you find yourself in the middle of an attack. Either somebody has accosted you out in town and is trying to rob you, of your possessions, or your house is overrun by burglars or robbers, armed or otherwise. Talk us through how to behave during an attack to preserve your own life.
Once you've not been able to protect your house or prevent them from entry, and they've entered, just allow them to do what they want to do. You might want to take a little slight look at them, but once they see you having a physical look at them, then because no criminal wants you to identify them, and just allow them to do whatever they want to do. And once they've gone, the police are the first line of call. And once you call those police numbers, we hope the police will act promptly, because in crime or in fraud, speed is one of the things. Once you allow people too much speed, they could mess up the crime scene. Right. Things will happen and you ask people, did you see anybody around? And everybody says, no, I didn't see anybody. The people who come, what dress are they wearing? Is it white, blue, green? Where you could be traumatized, but just be strong a little bit emotionally to pick 1 or 2 signals. It could be a help to the lead to arrest the criminal.
Right. Now, some of the people I talk to about security, they come up with pretty much the same concern that now you have to spend money, to provide yourself with some amount of security, especially at home. But since times are hard, sometimes you want to prioritize. So should you buy an alarm or should you buy cameras? You know, how would you prioritize the things we should spend money on, you know, in order to secure our environment? And there are so many. Apart from alarms, there are sensors, electric fences, cameras, and so forth. How would you
when you live in the
prioritize?
high crime areas, your security measures will be different from those who live in. That's why in some countries they bring their development psychologists in the way living communities are structured. And once you live in those high intensity crime areas, then your strategy will be different from somebody who live in a lesser one.
Right.
Having said that, it's important you speak to the professionals. It might not be so much expensive to do certain things. And even education at home, the way you relate to your kids, and the security education you give them. Even at church, I'll be training on church security in April. And even the churches, and you know the pastor has been killed, and all those stuff. Security is very expensive, and we have to be trained on it. Once we are trained, it won't cost you so much money, and you'll be fine. And personalities like you need to be watching your back. Not your shoulders alone, but just watch your back and say you have somebody who is a friend, who is a professional, who can say you can do this, but once you want to do this, just watch out. You are a lady and you are traveling, you want to check in a hotel, there are certain safety guidance you need to. If the person is not the one picking you at the airport or taking you, it's not necessary spreading everything about you, because these guys must know something about you in order to come after you.
Right. Now, in this case, nothing was visibly taken from the woman's room, according to the reports. They found some property of hers buried somewhere, and they suspect that the house help buried that property. But whether that was done on the same day or whether he did it earlier, we don't know. I'm curious about, you know, whether there are things we do that make our homes more of a target for robbers than others. So why would a robber choose one house over the other?
They also do the simple thing we call the risk assessment, and they assess everybody based on your vulnerabilities. You see, these criminals see everybody as a target, and you could be a soft target or a hard target because of the way you behave yourself and the way you portray yourself. In the case of our mom who is dead, if it is true it's the house help who did that, then it could be an internal fight. Or it could also be connivance from people at the workplace who may pay the guy any money to say, just kill it, and that's what they want. And some of these things are very target and strategic in nature. We're even lucky they are able to catch somebody and linking him to the crime scene as the first line of suspicion to be able to start speaking. Otherwise, he would have happened quietly and nobody will know. And I learned there's a 12-year-old boy in the house.
Yes.
Yes, so security education need to be enhanced in every home and institution. We should make it a national policy and we'll be fine.
I have some friends who lock their children's doors when they go to bed, but I worry that that is also a fire hazard. Is that a safe thing to do?
No, well, I don't know what applies in homes, but I have a daughter at home. Right from day one, you know what to do. When you are somewhere and something is happening, you really have to know what to do. There are some numbers you can call, and there's nothing you can do about it. There are safety measures you can take, precautionary measures. But to lock your keys, you remember some houses got burned?
Yes.
And the children were all burned, yeah. People could take some drastic measures because of past experiences, but there are simple procedural processes to follow, and you'll be fine.
So it's not really advisable to lock the kids?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Now, of course, we've started a new year. What would be the general recommendation and advice you would have for our audience about how to stay safe?
Yeah, I'm saying that everywhere you will be observant of your environment. Don't put yourself out there too much. Keep your mouth shut. That's what we always say. Speak to the right people on the need-to-know basis, and just be watchful and enjoy yourself. Don't be so much afraid unless you are enemy of the state. And we also encourage the Ghana Police Service as people for law and order to be able to be at our back, and when we call them, they should help us. And let's live together in this country and enjoy ourselves. Of course, investors are crying. It's also a security issue. You don't do the wrong investment, it's going to get a wrong result.
Yes,
and that way, I think we'll be fine.
Well, you heard the expert. Keep your mouth shut, drink water, and mind your own business. And hopefully 2019 will be a safe year for all of us. Richard Kumado is a fraud and security management consultant. Thank you so much for your time with us. Now, there's even more to come on the Pulse. Stay exactly where you are. It's coming up to these.